So, yeah, thanks everyone. And welcome, Greg. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you all for having me today. My name is Greg Karamanian. I represent Hollister in the Northeast for our Continence Care Division. We'll be joined today by John Morris, who is he's our regional manager for our Continence Care Division, but he also brings with him 6 years of the insurance side of catheters and ordering and reimbursement. Along with John Morris, we're going to also be joined in about 20 minutes with Carolyn Wheeler, who works for a company called ABC Medical. They are a national DME supplier for catheter and ostomy products. They're a very Hollister friendly company, but she'll be here exclusively to explain the support services that they provide, along with kind of navigating the whole insurance, I don't want to call it a game, but the insurance headache that all of you probably have to deal with on a regular basis. So she's an amazing resource. And then after her presentation, we'd like to kind of open it up for questions and answers. If you have any pressing questions, please. They're all questions are great questions. So I'm going to actually share my screen. It won't be death by PowerPoint, but there's a few slides. So let's see. Can everybody see my screen? Can anybody see my screen?
Yes, Greg, we can.
All right,
Yep,
super.
yep,
So with Hollister, we are a global manufacturer of ostomy and continence care products. Hollister actually is a US-based company. We started in Libertyville, Illinois about 100 years ago, and we're still based in Libertyville, Illinois. Ironically, Hollister was a printing company. The Hollister company printed birth certificates for the state of Illinois. They got into baby identification bracelets and then into fingerprint identification products for babies. Then they transitioned into the wound care marketplace, the breast pump marketplace. And ironically, in the 1970s, a woman that was working in one of the factories, her husband had an ostomy procedure, and she just couldn't get over the low quality of the collection pouch. So I believe it was during work hours, but she made what was probably the first high quality ostomy collection pouch. And from that prototype, Hollister entered the ostomy marketplace and actually is they are the market leader for ostomy in the United States. Probably I think it's about 78% of all facilities use Hollister for their ostomy products. So it's kind of it's a great story. Hollister entered the continence care market in the United States about 10 years ago. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We are an independent employee-owned company. We are a global company. All of our catheter products are made in Ballina, Ireland. They are all designed, research, developed in the United States. Hollister, like I said, we're an employee-owned company. We have a mission statement. We want to make life more rewarding and dignified for the people that use our products and services. Anyone that has worked with Hollister in the past knows that we not only listen to our customers, but we regularly have groups to kind of brainstorm on new products and existing products. So today, what we're going to talk about is intermittent catheters. We all know the benefits of regularly draining our bladder and the benefits of using intermittent catheters versus indwelling catheters. Very basic information. Every catheter company, no matter what product you're using, uses an international color coding for catheters. I'm assuming most of the people on this call today are using between a 12 French and a 16 French product. And you can always tell your product by the color of the funnel. And that whether you're using a Bard product, a Coloplast product, or a Hollister product, it's an international code. It's essentially an established code for catheters. For the most part, you have two types of catheters. You have a straight tip catheter and you have a coude tip catheter. Through your journey and through your experience of catheting, sometimes you may have to switch to a coude tip depending on your condition. And all intermittent catheters, not external catheters, are by prescription only. So I don't want to talk too much reimbursement just because we are going to have another section on that. But essentially, there are 3 codes for intermittent catheters. You have a 4351, a 4352, and a 4353. So when an insurance company reimburses for catheters, they're not reimbursing for a company's product. They're reimbursing for a code. And for a catheter to be billable, they have to have one of these 3 codes. To give a very broad overview, a 4351 is your bread and butter straight catheter. Your 4352 is a coude tip, whether it's a newer product that has infection protection built into it, or just a general catheter. It has the same 4352 code. And then last but not least, you have your closed systems, and those are your 4353s. And that is what insurance companies deem as a kit. We're going to talk about our Vapro product line today. And ironically, that doesn't come with a kit, but because of the features of the product, it's deemed a 4353, what's called a closed system. So let's move on. So our continence care product line. And so I had told Heidi before the topic, before we begin, I'm not going to sit here and talk about products. There isn't a perfect product that is like a one size fits all. At Hollister, what we want to do is we want you to be able to, if you're having challenges using product, if you're having challenges, even if it's a Hollister product, we want you to have the option to try other products. If you're using a Hollister product you're not happy with, we have maybe other options. So that's kind of the goal here. And you can just see a whole outlay of different things that we carry. Great. So let's talk about Vapro. So Vapro is a brand. So within the Vapro product line, we have Vapro Coude and we have Vapro Plus Pocket. Some of you are very familiar with Vapro Plus Pocket. That is the product that they're teaching discharges on at Spalding. So whenever you see Vapro, that's 100% touch-free product. How we became, sorry, let me catch my thought here. So when I say 100% touch-free, at no time do hands actually touch the catheter. So what Hollister did was they married an insertion tip along with a protective sleeve. So the protective sleeve goes through the same testing as surgical gloves. The point of the protective tip is to bypass the area of your meatus, or the first 15 millimeters of your urethra, where no matter how well you clean yourself, you cannot clean inside your urethra. So the insertion tip actually bypasses that. And then at that point, you're able to, we're going to show a picture of it, sorry. At that point, you pass your catheter. So at no time do your hands touch the catheter. Oh, and Carolyn's on, great. So this year we did a study. It's called the Impact Study. It will be published in Q1 of this year in the Journal of Continence and Ostomy Wound Care Nurses. So we're very excited about it. Essentially what we did was we took Vapro and we took 3 other catheters that have a protective sleeve. Just to reiterate, Hollister is the only company that has a protective sleeve with an insertion tip. So they essentially took a model that was contaminated with germs, and they passed the catheters through those models 3 times, and they tested to see how many microbes were on the catheters after they passed. And this is giving the idea that if there's microbes on the catheter, that means you've pushed microbes into your bladder. And our goal is to hopefully reduce or eliminate UTIs over time. So Hollister had about 30 microbes on their catheter, so it wasn't 0. Our next closest competitor was 24 times that amount, and one of the catheters was actually 2,400 times that amount of microbes. So it's a small thing that can help decrease UTIs. It's very important. So we went the protective tip. Once again, like I said, we have many scheduled groups where we actually sit down with existing users and try to get their opinions on our products, how we can improve our products. So this is just a little piece that we put together. 93% of all Vapro catheter users feel they're more protected. And I love this little dog here. I don't know who came up with that in marketing, but I think that's so genius. You pet your dog and then you cath yourself, you know, you don't even think about it. So it's, anyway, so some improvements to Vapro. Some of you may have used it in the past. We did take the blue insertion tip and we made it 50% smaller. So it is now a clear white tip. Some of our users also stated that they had a difficult time seeing through the blue, so we changed it to a clear. And then with our collection bag, we've also added a second grip hole, so and a new tear strip. That was another complaint that we were hearing. And then last but not least, the old packaging, some of you may remember, was this silver red packaging. It's now a white, more discreet packaging. It's not screaming, hello, I'm a medical product. So great. We're not going to go through this. I just wanted to. And then actually one last product that I'd like to talk about. This is our new female product. It's called Infina Chic. It's actually, it codes as a 4351. Very discreet, looks like a cosmetic. The end user feedback on this has been amazing. So I'm going to skip through the next few slides because they're, it's just, we know these things. And this actually gives you an idea also of what we did with Vapro. We contaminated the gloves and the product essentially with bacteria, and with a glow light you can see that because we have a sleeve on Vapro where this shows that it is contaminated. When you have a sleeve, the sleeve is protecting the catheter from contamination. We're going to skip through this. So next, external catheters. Not everybody needs a intermittent catheter. They sometimes, unfortunately, can't. You know, they have urinary incontinence. So we came out with a product called InView. We actually have 3 versions of this product. The number one thing I hear is that the product they don't have enough adhesive. So we came out with a product called Extra. It has 30% more adhesive. And then last but not least, people that use our leg bags, it's a very high quality leg bag. And that's really all I want to go through with that. And last but not least, Hollister, our secure start services. So this is something that we offer all of our end users. It's a no charge service. If you went through the Spalding system, most likely you're already enrolled in this service, but if not, I'll have my contact information on the last slide. Please feel free to reach out to me or directly to Secure Start Services. Any product you want to try, you can receive no charge samples of the product. The other great thing about Secure Start, if you have challenges with finding a Hollister friendly dealer, they can also match you with somebody. And then last but not least, Hollister is partners with the United Spinal Organization in the United States. We print all of the United Spinal literature, and we also print some of the Christopher Reeve literature.